in 1981 that I'm living in now. And my neighbor across the street, his house is newer than that, and he's got room and room and room. And he told me, he said, he didn't have insurance. What? How do you get by?
Right.
Everything's gone up. Property taxes have gone up quite a bit as well. You know,
that
they
has really
quite a
soaked me
bit.
good.
Yeah.
And but anyway, what they did this time that took so long, they stuck the trash fee on the bill on my property taxes.
Hmm.
I said, how can you do that? At times you pay it in advance. I said, they worked and they got it off for this house because I'm too far from the
Too far
the
from the
road.
road. Yeah.
And they said, well, what do you do with your trash? I said, I burn it. And if there's any scraps, I give it to the wildlife.
So you've got a history that I believe nobody else has of anybody that we've spoken to, and that's being tied to the town of Matanzas.
I am glad that you caught me because I'm 92 years old and I'm better now than I was last year or the year before. But this has been the best outlet that I have is to come here, and we don't have whippoorwills anymore out here. Not one. And I came out on April the 1st, which was not long ago, thinking I would hear some whippoorwills. No, they're not out. Didn't even hear an owl. But I have heard owls before. But they said the DDT that, who put that out? Rainier or
Rainier
somebody, and that took care of stuff like that. I mean, you don't have it anymore.
They were trying to kill off the pine beetles with it, and it ended up killing wildlife and poisoning the water.
Yeah, Rainier back here, they had the property first. And they bought up a lot of stuff. And then they sold out not long ago to St. John's River Water Management. They don't want these ponds drained. They want them to stay full. Well, that's why the road gets full of water. But you all are welcome to come and go on your own as much as you want to.
Appreciate that.
You can walk from here to the Prince's place.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk back here and make a right turn and cut over, and you will be on the county road. And try walking that when the water's ice cold.
Is that Davis grade?
Davis grade is this way. And guess what? You used to could drive through there, and then you used to could park and walk through there. The Davis grade is part of the golf course. I thought that was a dirty trick. Because that is the most scenic road you would ever find. And when you'd walk along, you better look behind you once in a while, because the hogs are running loose. And I've been walking it for quite a bit. All of us have. We have really enjoyed the scenic view through there. And there's wild mulberries growing. And now I think you can walk it. I understood you could, but you don't see too many people walking it. And if you meet a vehicle like a truck or something, you better get out of the way because they don't stop. But anyway, over there is the old DuPont place. And the hunting camp used to hunt back in there. And they would tell me they would have their camp up on this little hill. And then there used to be, they said, look, here it says, look for this impression in the ground. It's a mill thing. Well, we found something like that. But I would think that since it's St. John's River Water Management, that is public ground also. You can't hunt on it. But you can, It's federal funded, so they tell me. But we used to walk down here, and where that gate is, we go through there. You can walk all the way to the Prince's place.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go this way and come out on the county road, and then you can make a left, and then there's a kind of a it's like a pond. And we would detour up that, and that was Sam Knight's place, because he was married, Sam Knight. Who was he married to? Sarah. This is way before my time, but Sarah married Virgil DuPont. I mean, they were born here and all that. DuPonts had property over there at Bing's and all that. I mean, they had to get rid of it, I guess. But anyway, have you seen the old DuPont cemetery over there?
Have not yet. Yeah,
We've been trying to get in there.
Yeah.
It's private property around it. And then
Yes.
the DuPont property's in the middle of it.
We cannot even go to the cemetery.
Really?
Yeah. He is the only one. And then, of course, you haven't been to the Eatmans Cemetery.
I have.
Oh, you have?
I've been there as well. Sam Knight is buried there, isn't he?
Huh?
Isn't Samuel Knight buried there?
McKnight.
Oh, it's McKnight.
Samuel, yes.
There's somebody that's there that's a veteran of the Seminole War. He's buried
Yeah.
there.
Now, that was Long's property, and he was the one that went to the DuPonts to warn them that the Indians were coming. And so when he got, they told him not to leave, but he got on his horse and he was shot by an Indian.
Right.
And when I was over there at the Eatman Cemetery, I was within the last year, and I was telling that story, and the person was waiting on us to get out, and I was telling him about an Indian shot Long, and he said, "I'm an Indian." I'm always saying something like that. There's always an Indian. But you know, I admired the Indians. And you run across a good many of them around. And the person that fixed my screen, put my screen up in Palm Coast just recently, he's an Indian. His name is Curtis something or another, I can't remember that. But anyway, an animal had cut a hole in my screen in Palm Coast. And then they said, well, it's because so many people are building homes that the animals are looking for places to dig a hole or whatever. But anyway, this was a wonderful place to grow up. We amused ourselves, and my dad was quite a fisherman, and he would, when we kids were growing up, he said, "Who wants to go fishing?" And he liked to fish at night. And I said, "It's always me. I want to go." And so we had an old vehicle that would go through here and across the swamp and over on that side. And you could hear crickets and all that at night. Actually, you can hear them here now. But anyway, when I was growing up, there was, we were the last ones on the DuPont Road. But there was an old road that went right on through, what did they call that? And it went right through Brammer's property. And my dad would have an old vehicle, and he'd ask, "Who wants to go for a ride in this vehicle?" Me. So we went back there. And one time, what was it? It caught fire.
The vehicle?
Yeah, the old vehicle.
Uh-huh.
And my dad was like, "Jump, jump, jump." And I'd jump out. But it was so fun. But we had quite a time. But way back, and I was telling, did you know Douglas DuPont?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay. He was the youngest one of the group. His dad was the youngest one. So my dad was the oldest one. And then my dad was born in 1897. And let me see. There was a brother and sister marrying a brother and sister. I thought, whoa.
Yep.
And one of the cousins said, that's where we went wrong. But anyway, it was very, I talked to one of my cousins not long ago. She said, that's where we went wrong. But anyway, we would walk around here. There was nobody around. We would pick blueberries, and we'd go down here. Well, we were down there, and my brother he's a year older than me, and we were not too old. My brother would get scared at most anything, my older brother. And we would be down there picking blueberries, and my brother would hear this noise in the bushes. He said, he took off running, and we ran behind him, and we came up right down here. So anyway, if you want to see the springs, I haven't seen it in a long time. There is a stream that comes on up here, and the spring is over a few feet. And I have seen it. We have gotten water from there. But the tale is that one of the DuPonts married, can't think of their name, and they had a house back here. But she died from standing over a hot stove. And so her husband, they must have bought him out. But after that, this doctor bought the place. He had an assisted living way back then. My sister probably could tell you that. And so he would, it was a doctor. He had patients, and he had bought the house, and he used the springs there and had somebody to dip up the water and take to his assisted living, which was right there. And you can probably still see china, broken china around. But anyway, and then, what's his name? Mary.
Dr. Parker?
No, I don't know the name, but Lindy would know that. But Sarah Knight married Virgil DuPont. So
I know those names together.
yeah. So anyway, it's been empty, but we used to walk through there, and there used to be big drainage ditches going to the swamp, and you would see that all along. The Eatmans had a huge drain system that went to the salt water, and my granddad had goodness, it was more than 5 acres for his garden. And boy, they really had quite a garden over there. You can, and I guess Hamlet Dooms would not let you in there, right?
Probably not. Yeah. Well, actually, he's got a way in now. He's got a contact over there.
Oh,
I can
okay.
go search the property for historic value anytime I want.
Well, when you go down Davis Grade, you walk along, and you're supposed to still be able to do that. You can look up on your right, and you can see the golf course. And they told us if we would come on an off day, we could borrow one of their golf carts and go riding. But we never did that. My sister got a big laugh out of that. But we did have walked it before, and now where the old Eatman house was, it's they had to have somebody to tell them about it. And so I did tell them about it. Let me see. And then I really brought one of the books from Hamlet Dunes. Were you all allowed to look at it?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, I was the one that met with several people. Yeah, my trashy book. But anyway,
I'm gonna come sit beside you.
you will find all sorts of stuff here. Mary, where's that little book? Do you know?
The archaeology survey, I don't know.
No, let's see. You probably didn't get in.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, something didn't get in. But anyway.
Is it this book here? Cultural Resource Survey?
Oh. Yeah, you can see it blends in with the bag. This is what they gave me. I was the only relative that met with them that day. And the archaeologist was at the old Eatman place. And he wanted me to tell him about it. And so I did. I said as best as I know how, but I got they put some pictures in here also. But in reading this, here's about the cemetery, if you want to glance at it. But anyway, they gave me a copy because I showed up and I talked to them about the old Eatman house, and they got some pictures in it. It's always good to have pictures.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's the Eatman house.
Okay.
And I think he would probably put in on Facebook the old DuPont place. He did a lot of history. And you don't dare cross him up and tell him something either, no, that's not right. And he was talking about two of the DuPonts were in a war, and they were killed. And then he told me, no, one of them came back, and he lived with his dad. And then not long ago he said, no, he was buried up there. I keep my mouth shut. But anyway.
That's no fun. You need to get them going. You gotta make cute.
But when they say you're wrong, I shut up. But I'm actually, this right here, I'll show you. This is the Eatman house. And it was out here in front. The archaeologist was digging up. He says, I have hit a tabby floor down here. Do you remember a building or anything? I said, no. I said, they roasted oysters there. And I said, usually a tabby floor means there must have been a roof over it.
Right.
I never heard that before, but I was assuming that there was a roof over it. And so he took my word for it. And then it wasn't long ago that Hewitt comes up with it. Hadn't heard that before from Hewitt.
Do you know when the picture of the house is from? What year that was taken?
This was taken.
I've seen that picture. I actually got it at home. I printed it out. I'm making a file on Matanzas because you are probably the big information on it. There's really nothing in the history that we can find.
Of the house, even?
The whole Matanzas settlement.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go back to the Eatmans bought from Long's relatives. And it had to have been like 18, they kind of came down after the Civil War, I think, and they stayed at the old fort up there was a fort up there that is off of US 1 to the west
Okay.
in St. Johns County. I've never seen it, but people have told me, oh, it's over there. I'm not going to run around and hunt if you can't see it. But anyway, but this is the Eatman house, and of course, it faces east, and this is my granddad right here, Edward. This, somebody said it was Moody. This is Calvin Eatman.
He's buried up at the cemetery.
Yeah. But anyway, we get off on this. But actually, we figured out that that the Eatmans must have been related to Long, or somehow. You know, you get carried away and then you get lost. But yeah, I have been through here, front door, and it was one of those organ things. It could have been handed down from Calvin and Annie, because they were the ones that bought the property. And my granddad, Edward Allen, that was some of the relatives. Allen was some of the relatives. And they're buried in the cemetery in St. Augustine. But anyway, Calvin is right here. And someone said this was Moody, and this was Edward. And my mother always liked to tell the story. He was down in the Everglades hunting when his dad died. And he was not married at that time. So they had to send for him to come up to take over. And of course, let me see. He was not even married then. But anyway, it looks enormous.
Mm-hmm.
And there were big bedrooms upstairs. There was a big bedroom here. There was a living room here. And you go in the front door, and then there was a stairway going upstairs. And then back here, and on back was a big barn. And some people in Bunnell got some of the lumber from the barn. And, you know, they just loved old stuff.
That's me.
You can't find it anymore. But anyway, there was the main bedroom was here. I don't know who all this is. But anyway, the house just deteriorated. But it was built like in they got settled after the war, and someone said that some of the Annie Eatman's relatives built the house. I think my sister said that. Okay. And then this is they left it up to me to find pictures. I was the last one on earth. But this is the back of the Eatman house. And see, this is a little bedroom. This is the middle porch here. This is the dining room. And boy, could they cook. And that's, you wash your hands and all that. But this leads out to the well. And then on the other side was a system. They had that. They had water all the time. But going out this, you could go to the big barn. And then they had a garage. And I remember my granddad had a Rio. You know what a Rio is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what they loaded their produce in to take to St. Augustine. Okay.
So it was like a dog trot type porch?
Yeah.
Okay.
We call it a middle porch. But there's where you washed up, you did all that, and I don't know what that is. But they had those little safe things, they call them safes. They put them on the back porch, and then the air circulates and it keeps them cool.
Like a pie safe type thing?
The what?
Like a pie safe where bugs can't get into it, but air can?
Right, yeah, screened in. Okay. Now this person here, she's sitting on the side. Now see, she was a DuPont. That's Ruby. And you know, they kind of, back then, you visited a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ruby was, at that time, she had been married before, I think. But anyway, he worked for the sawmill or something, and her husband totally disappeared. I mean, they didn't know what happened to him. Okay. Now this is, we're off on the Eatmans, so, and this is one of the, she married an Eatman. This is my first cousin. I don't know where I got these pictures. Ugh. But anyway,
You're showing pictures I've never seen before. I mean, those are treasures.
I don't know where those pictures are now. I got, what I did, I took all the DuPont pictures I had and all the Eatman pictures and everything in between at my house. And I might have brought a few, but let me go. This is Eatman property. Oh, great day.
I had Palm Coast print me a map.
Oh,
Is this you? Did you draw this?
I think Uncle Jay did.
I think my brother did, because he said he passed away in 2002. Orange Grove, Eatman home.
Right.
And here's the cemetery. Hernandez Sugar Mill. I think that was where
That's where Island Walk Shopping Center is.
the what?
The Island Walk Shopping Center, Publix, and
Yes.
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. And somebody planted a picture of that they were tearing it down. But anyway, Virgil DuPont here, 1800. Jim DuPont. Jim DuPont was my granddad DuPont. I never saw him. He died in 1930. And Dunk's Hammock. You know where that is?
I've been trying to figure out the orientation of where everything is.
Yeah. The Pickett home. I'm looking. Below-Steen Pond. Okay. It's I think it's, somebody said it was about where the golf course is over here. Well, I'm not
What I
sure.
always thought was the big pond by 95 on Old Kings. I thought
Yeah.
that was the Osteen Pond, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like
That
a-
was a pond they dug for drainage. And my brother drove a tractor, and he worked for the highway department. And he would find great big shells underground where that is. When you go out and you're on Old Kings Road,
Mhm.
and you can pull over on the right-hand side. He found all kinds of clam shells. I mean, it was fantastic. And he had them here, but I don't know what happened to them. Wasn't me. All right, here's Virgil DuPont, Jim DuPont, Charlie DuPont. Okay, Charlie DuPont